Eddie Jones in the England camp. Paolo, mate, grab a seat. Doggers, we need to talk. Because I don't know if you heard, Slado. Yeah, Slado's out, mate. He's injured. Henry's gone for Ireland. So, what I need. Have you got Joe Marchant's phone number? I must have deleted it, mate. Yeah, just text me. Bingo. Cheers. Hey, wrap up warm. Going to be cold in the stands at the weekend. Hey, Joe. Joe, get yourself over here, mate. Pretty sure that's how it went down. We've got to talk about Eddie Jones's England squad. Everyone's talking about it. All England fans are. And they've got lots to say. So let's get into it. Hit subscribe, like, share, and leave your comments. I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers. And let's have a look at that England team then. Sorry about terrible Eddie Jones impression. I'll work on it. But there you go. No surprises to see. Very few changes from Eddie Jones's side that beat France and played so well. The one enforced change in the starting 15, Henry Slade injured. In comes Elliot Daly wearing the 13 jersey. It's been a while since he's done that. And onto the bench in his place, Joe Marchant, who leapfrogs Paolo Odogwu. Some talking points there. And let me start with Elliot Daly. I'm delighted to see him in a 13 shirt. There have been a lot of people saying another example of Ollie Lawrence not getting his chance. Ollie Lawrence being on the bench. I haven't got a problem with that at all. Because Henry Slade is an outstanding outside centre. He was with Wasps when he was playing well enough to get originally selected by England in that position. I think the last time he wore the 13 jersey was November 2016 at international level. He played lots there for Wasps. I'm pretty sure he was also playing a lot in that position when he was selected for the British and Irish Lions as well, where 4 years ago he started in the back three on the wing in Warren Gatland's side in all three tests. Let's not forget. I'm pretty sure Saracens signed him with 13 in mind because they've got Alex Good and Max Malins, assuming they get back to the Premiership and everyone returns. They've got them in their side and they're stacked on the wings as well. So he's a guy that can play in multiple positions, but 13, I'm so pleased to see him there for England again. And you can't complain at Eddie Jones being stubborn, belligerent, never changing and persisting with Elliot Daly at 15 and then complain when he tries different things as well. There's been a lot of people saying, see, told you he had it wrong with him at 15. Well, at least he's trying something different and that's great. And I'm trying to look at this with a glass half full. Potentially, the time that Elliot Daly has spent wearing 15 on his back could benefit England in, say, a World Cup final when a player goes down injured 1 minute into a game and you've got a guy who by then will have about 70 caps who can come off the bench and fulfill that kind of a role and on the wing and in the centre really competently. I think that's a great thing for England. And I think Elliot Daly is such a valuable asset for England. And I think he is. He's got a 3 on his back this weekend. I think he should continue to do so long term. I think he's the best 23 in world rugby, potentially. Unless you can tell me a better one. I was trying to think who would be a better player to be number 23 on your bench than Elliot Daly, who is next cab off the rank in, well, clearly at outside centre. Maybe that will change if Manu Tuolangi were fit and firing. On the wing, he's next cab off the rank, and he'd be next cab off the rank at fullback as well. What an asset. Geordie Barrett was one I could think of. He can play centre wing fullback. Kurtley Beale, fly half centre fullback. Gael Fickou for France, centre wing. These people are very rare talents that have this broader skill set, and so we should be really grateful to have Elliot Daly, and I'm delighted to see him wearing the 13 jersey. That means Ollie Lawrence is on the bench. I'm fine with that. Some people are disappointed he's not starting. I like it for what it's worth. And also on the bench, Joe Marchant in place of Paolo Odogwu, this has been the thing that a lot of people have talked about, and this is not an uncommon reaction, and I do understand it from a Wasps fan. This Wasps fan in particular saying, 11 weeks since Odogwu played any competitive rugby, did you pick him just so you didn't have to face him in the Italy game? Marchant straight in the 23, Eddie Jones can expect boos at the Rico. If you've not had Paolo Odogwu available to your club side for 2.5 months, and your team's not been playing as well as a result, I get the frustration. I think Lee Blackett did ask for him to have him on the fallow week the other week and was told no, which made everyone think maybe he is going to be on the bench against France. I reckon he would have been very close to being in the reckoning this weekend with an injury. Clearly, Eddie Jones doesn't think Paolo Odogwu is quite ready to cut the mustard. And that is his prerogative. Paolo Odogwu is being compensated 15 grand a game even to sit in the stands, which, you know, that's some compensation. He'll appreciate that when he looks at his bank balance, but I wonder how he feels. I'm sure he will have got an answer. He will have asked the question, or Eddie Jones would have just come forward and given the answer why you've not been picked and why Joe Marchant has been picked. And there's clearly going to be a reason for that. Ollie Lawrence being a centre on the bench means that Joe Marchant is covering the wing position. Maybe it's as simple as Eddie Jones doesn't have the confidence in Paolo Odogwu to do a job on the wing at international level. We've seen James Lowe tearing it up for Leinster, really struggling playing for Ireland. It's a tough transition to make, and it's a whole nother level. And if Eddie Jones doesn't quite think Paolo Odogwu's there, particularly when you're going to have an aerial bombardment from Ireland, you would imagine, at the weekend, then I think, fair enough. Some people would disagree, maybe other international coaches would disagree, but I think that's a reasonable reason to make that call. I do feel for him, but Eddie Jones has this thing about being a test match animal, and this is not uncommon. I'm going to give you a list of names right now that Eddie Jones has brought into the squad, may have used on the odd occasion or not at all, and then removed. Ted Hill, Gary Graham, Ben Vellacott, Mike Williams, Zach Mercer, Dave Ewers, Don Armand. These guys can sympathise. Sam Simmons as well. If Eddie Jones doesn't think he's a test match animal, that is his call to make. And hopefully, and again, I'm trying to look at this glass half full, hopefully what's going to happen is Paolo Odogwu isn't used in this game, but is used in the summer on the tour, gets capped then, and that can be a springboard where he can then launch himself forward to maybe the Six Nations next year. This is a cauldron, even without a crowd. Dublin, tough place to go and make an international debut. And I quite understand wanting to just focus on winning that game and putting what you believe to be the best 23 players out onto the field. And if right now he's not totally convinced that this is the time and the moment for Paolo Odogwu, I'm okay with that, as long as he gets his chance in the summer. I'm not one of these people that subscribe to this game means nothing, get the kids in, which I've seen quite a lot of people advocating. I'm not on board with that. Let's have this conversation in a year's time. I think, and my prediction will be, Paolo Odogwu is not going to be another Don Armand. He will get used this summer, and then we'll know a lot more about him as an international player, so that by the time this happens, this time next year, he's in a position where he has got a body of work, body of evidence that can show he can do it. But let me know what you think. I know JB will disagree, and he'll probably make a video saying that this is the reason why Eddie Jones is a terrible man manager and a terrible bloke. And a lot of people using this as that stick to beat Eddie Jones with. And maybe you think deservedly so. It'd be boring if we all thought the same, wouldn't it?